everyone, and welcome to New Trials the Podcast. I'm Preya.
And I'm Melanie.
The New Trials of Captor Sakura, Syaoran, and Friends is a popular ongoing fanfic by Wishluv, and it's based off of Clamp's Captor Sakura. And in each episode, we'll do a deep dive of a new chapter. Let's get into it.
So, did you ever have to do a piano concert? Because I know you played piano and stuff.
Yeah, so I started playing piano when I was 9 years old, and we only had one recital. So I had the worst stage fright, so I was pretty lucky in that sense. At The only thing I remembered is one of the pieces that I played was How Much Is That Doggy in the Window?
I don't know if I know that one.
It's How much is that doggy in the window? The one with the waggly tail. How much is that doggy in the window? I do hope that doggy's for sale. Very basic stuff.
So cute. I don't think I've ever heard of that. So, when you do a recital, okay, does someone win first place? Like, is it a competition or how does it work?
No, it was just a showcase at my piano teacher's house. So basically, she invited all her students and they picked songs to play for the parents who sat in the living room. And then afterwards, there was like cake and refreshments in our backyard. It was very low key.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and other than that, in grade eight, we had a music class. Well, grade seven and eight, and then we would have our like annual concert. So I participated in that.
Nice.
How about you?
Well, I never really, I had that brief stint with the clarinet, but, the only thing I can sort of think of that's kind of similar is in choir. Not only would our big choir go to competitions, but then there was also solo competitions. And I participated in the solo stuff and I never got first place or anything, but I've placed, it's kind of graded by numbers, like you get like a 1 2 3 4 or 5, and I would always get like fours and stuff like that, which, not to toot my own horn or anything.
That's
but I
awesome.
never but yeah but I never made it to like, oh, you're Tomeo, you're so good, that type of level. But yeah, that's the only thing I can think of that's even remotely similar.
The crew seemed pretty stressed out about this music concert, and I'm glad that this is probably the last time that they're going to go through something like this. I know that Sakura and Syaoran, they will revisit the violins again during the Best Couples concert, but other than that, I think this is the last time that it's so music focused.
Well, in the fourth arc, there's also when they do the Goth Cinderella play, and they have to, and at first, they're in the orchestra, and when Lien is the conductor and stuff, and he's like the demon conductor. So that's sort of music, but, spoiler alert, they never really get to be in the orchestra. But I think that's the next time where violins come up, though, I think.
Fun. Okay, so today we'll be diving into chapter 13, The Twisted Winter Concert. This chapter was released in the summer of 2000, and the word count is 6,584 words, so half the length of the previous chapter. Once again, everyone is in the 8th grade, and it's in December. On to the summary. The day before the concert, Tomoyo told Sakura that the last two tickets to the New York trip should go to Aaron and Erica. With her Christmas presents all purchased, Sakura is now working on an embroidery project. At the Lees, Malin was furious at Syaoran for agreeing to take Erica to dance, and she gave him a piece of her mind, which he appreciated. The winter concert had arrived, and everyone was getting ready. Outside, there was a storm moving the snow around, causing traffic accidents. Syaoran and Sakura both fought the Twister, even though they were on cue to be on stage. Sakura temporarily held the force with the stone so they could do their violin number. Because Aaron burnt his hand in an experiment, Syaoran took over first violin. When Sakura played her solo, the music was able to contain the Twister in its confinement. Sakura was worried that it was still not sealed. At the end of the number, Aaron credited the first violin. Aaron was credited for the first violin, and Syaoran didn't bother to correct anyone. From the gossip going around the show, we learned that Aaron is taking Tomoyo to the dance.
Such a good, I mean, I actually really like this chapter, honestly. Like, even though it's not as like dramatic and, crazy and as long as what we, the one previously, but I do like this chapter a lot.
Well, yeah, for sure. It has all the elements of a good CCS chapter. It's really sweet, and it's part of all of this the winter. It's like even though Christmas is behind us, we can still appreciate the Christmas season in New Trials for probably the months to come at our rate.
Yeah, this that's fair.
So when this chapter started, there was a mention of VCR, and I'm like, signs of the times.
hmm Yeah, and then a couple mentions of hand phones again too.
Yes, the opening scene was really funny with Malin annoying Syaoran to no end, rewatching the video, and wishing wrote for the 11th time, and then she's on it for the 12th time.
It was fun for me to go, Sakura!
That was really great, and it really put me in the moment.
So much fun.
I think what I noticed about this chapter is that it doesn't seem that Sakura told Tomoyo what happened with Syaoran on the bridge.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I think Tomeo is smart enough that she picked up the clues and she kind of put pieces together, but yeah, I don't think Sakura definitely didn't talk to her about it.
Yeah, because Tomoyo was like, "Oh, you didn't have a gift for Lee-kun," and then she's like, "Okay, let's go downstairs." So obviously, it's like taboo for now. Hmm.
Well, and even last chapter, she had that moment where she just kind of looks at Sakura and then gets sad eyes because I think she realizes what has transpired basically. But it does kind of surprise me that I don't know if Sakura just doesn't want to. Like maybe she doesn't want to burden May, not Maylin, sorry, that she doesn't want to burden Tomeo. So maybe that's, but like to me, I'm the type of friend that, I mean, just you on what was it, Saturday or Saturday, I messaged you crying because I burnt my cookies. Let
Luckily,
alone
you did it. You did it again, and they came out wonderful. No, it's just it's like yeah, I guess Sakura is still trying to like wrap her head over what happened, and she just needs to process things. But I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it's sweet that she didn't quit on her embroidery project, regardless of like what happened between her and Charon, because it's like
hmm
even though the door has closed on any special feelings, he's still her friend.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that embroidery, it's I'm happy to see it, but then sad to see it, at the same time. But
I actually bought an embroidery kit from Amazon during the pandemic as like a pandemic project. I never got around to it. See, my goal is to learn how to embroider and then recreate Sakura's embroidery, but that's like a long way to go.
uh I used to like my grandma was really good at doing needlepoint stuff, like where you put it on the thing and but I never had the eye for it. But and Pete's mom, she's amazing at that type of stuff. And my skills are not there.
I think we should commission Pete's mom. Is she retired?
She will be coming up this upcoming year. So that's a good idea. Maybe I'll say, hey, give me a little wolf that's like howling with cherry blossoms floating around it.
Well, I made an MS fan art of it, so I can totally send it your way as a reference.
Hey, love it.
One way, shape, or form, we will see an embroidery of this.
I like it.
Mhm. I like how we have some backstory of why Maylin decided to pursue Sharon, like in the early New Trials chapters. But I'm really glad that she came to terms in this chapter that like no, she's gonna back off. So it just opens her heart for somebody else.
Mm. You know, I absolutely loved that scene. Like it was such a good scene on so many levels. It's like her kind of like knocking some sense into him, number one. Him also kind of not really checking her out, but sort of, but actually kind of seeing her as like a girl for this first time and actually like, oh, she's actually kind of like beautiful, And then, I mean, there's just so many layers to that scene, and it's just like, it's just chef kiss. It's so good.
Yeah, and Syaoran doesn't really let his guard down for a lot of people. So I'm glad that he has her to talk to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we move on to closer to the concerts, and then we have a scene where Toya was complaining to Yukito. It's like, oh my God, Sakura was so annoying. I was like, Toya, you play violin. Why can't you help her? Why can't you give her some pointers? Why do you have to
Right.
complain all the time?
The only thing I can think of, and I don't know, it might be different in Japan. I don't know their school schedule, but December for here is finals. So I don't know if like he was just in the midst of finals for college, but I don't know. It might be different in Japan. I'm not for sure.
I don't know. I think if he had time to complain about it, he probably.
That's so true. Which I don't know why he's taking economics and he's pre-med. That seems kind of funny to me. I was like, no, any math class I can get out of except the ones where I have to have, then fine. But
Oh, you know, Toya, he's definitely got a brain on him.
yeah, and he was always good with money. He saved up
Yes.
money for his motorcycle and all
Yes.
that.
Hmm. So we have a scene where Aaron is blaming his accident for not having his full power. I don't know. It's like, what does he mean by that? Does it mean that if he had his powers, he wouldn't be injured? Or does that mean if he had his powers, he wouldn't do his experiment? And why the heck was he doing that experiment in the first place? It's like, we've never seen them do things like that.
Yeah, that's such a good point because I was sort of thinking about this on my drive to work today, actually. And because I was trying to think if there's something that comes up within like the next couple chapters where maybe he uses this potion that he's making to do something or whatever. And I don't think there's anything coming up. And then, unless he needed it to, send out three forces all at once, which is going to happen soon. I don't know. I'm just reaching at this point. But yeah, that's such a good point. Because I don't know if maybe he means like his concentration isn't as good because his powers isn't as good. Maybe it's like when you have low iron. I don't, but yeah, that's a good point. I'm not for sure.
Oh well, I know at the end of the day, it's like a plot device for him to hurt his hand and then have Syaoran swoop in and play first violin, even though he doesn't take the credit. But that's another thing.
I think Wish Chan now would write it where he like maybe like cracked a wine glass or something in his hand or something like that.
That as actually that scene is actually gonna come up. I think it's gonna be in arc three where because Selenity she drew a fan art of Aaron with a wine glass. And that's just triggering memory of me where he's like I think he smashes the wine glass. I don't think he breaks it in his hand. He probably throws it against the wall. But
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
yeah, that's definitely gonna come up sometime in the future. So we get to see so many OG cards when Sakura and Sharon were trying to battle the Twister. I really enjoyed Aaron regretting releasing the four-string concert nights.
It's like that meme of the consequences of my own actions.
Pretty much. It was like Aaron's like thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna cause trouble for Sakura and Sharon," without realizing, "Oh yeah, I'm also in the mix."
Like, this directly affects me. Which is why they get smarter in arc 4 and they're like, put all the troublemakers in key roles so that way they can't mess things up.
We get to see Sakura use the stone. And is this the first time that she uses like one of the new cards?
Hmm. It's a good point. I have to think on that. I think that's true, but
Yeah.
a little bell's ringing in my head that maybe she's used another one too.
Hmm.
I'll look into it.
Yeah.
But that sounds right though.
But it's fun because she gets to use a lot of her OG cards, but then she uses her stone as like the well, not so final move, just to hold the force down while they're doing the concert.
Yeah, such a good idea.
Yeah. Uh, battle scene was fun. It's always nice to see Sakura and Sharan working together. I enjoy that a lot. There was that moment when the battle is finished and they're both going for the knob and his hand covers hers. I live for those kinds of scenes. It gives me butterflies.
And there's a lot of scenes in this one where I think his resolve is really definitely starting to crack a little bit, because he like laughs when she gets pricked with her dress later and stuff, and he's teasing her the whole chapter about different things. So I do think that talk with Mei Lin was kind of that, and when he like was telling the guy last chapter, like, you only live once. So I think he's, like we talked about, he's already regretting telling Sakura what he did.
Oh well, you have to face your consequences, Syaoran. But it was nice that he gave her that ward so that she can warm up. That was really sweet.
Yes. Yeah, that was super sweet.
Yeah. So when Sakura came back with her ripped dress, I was like going through my brain and I'm like, does she have a card that's gonna help her fix the dress? But then like in comes Tomoyo to the rescue.
Yeah, that's true. Because I mean, I guess you could maybe use the create, maybe, or erase. Maybe you wouldn't want to erase your dress, but or
Yeah.
illusion, give the illusion that it's not ripped, maybe.
But like I totally forgot that Tomoyo was like seamstress or like extraordinaire, and then she pinned it up. Everything was fine. But no, I think Sakura she needs to like have those dresses with like the slits, because I think Meilin ends up wearing dresses like that so that she can fight on a moment's notice.
Yes. I'm gonna pronounce it wrong. It's like they're kipao,
Yes,
kipo.
I know
I
what you're
will.
talking about. I don't know how
Yes.
to pronounce it.
I will get it down when the chapter comes. But yeah, this like they're the beautiful high slit dresses. Oh.
So we get the violin version of canon, and I love the way that you got the strings version. You omitted in the audio. It was perfect.
I was pretty pleased when I found that.
Yes. And even in the chapter, I just love the connection between the music versus Twister. And it's like it wanted to break free, but then the music manages to just like keep it confined. I that really tied the scene together.
Yeah, it's one of, I can't even put it into words how good it is. It really is. It's such like a unique idea, and it really shows Wish Chan's love of music, and it's just so good.
It was fun to see Toya and Yukito seeing Sharon and Aaron attracting all of the attention. And it makes me wonder if they were recalling their days of being the chick magnets.
Yes.
We learned that Aaron asked Tomoyo to the dance. And maybe it's like a thank you for getting invited to New York, because in this chapter we also learned that twins are coming.
What in speaking of that, what do you think he meant by do you think he sent what's the bunny's name?
Oh yeah, Mooney-chan.
Mooney Chan. Yeah, do you think he sent Mooney Chan to spy? Invisible, and that's how he got it? Or how do you think he spied?
Um, Spied? How?
Because he says the like a sentence to Erika. Let me find it real quick.
Oh, you know what? I think I don't know if he spied. I think when I read that chapter, well, that paragraph, I interpreted as um Tomoyo told Aaron that he and Erica were invited, and
Hmm.
Aaron is just passing the message. Or maybe Erica was there, but she was so ditzy that it just went over her head.
He says,
What?
"Sister dear, what will you do without your twin to do all the spying?"
Oh.
So that's what made me think of, did he send Mooney Chan in invisible form, or is he being like a creep?
Oh, see, when I was reading that chapter, I just like interpreted it as he had the information and it's like he had yet to tell Erica. Oh, well,
Hmm.
you know what? That's true because we have Tomoyo making her decision, but we don't really know if she actually invited them yet. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. Lee-chan is sneaking around doing the twins' dirty work.
And speaking of dates for the dance, I freaking going back to that scene with Malin and Syaoran, I freaking love that she called him out on not taking her. Like if he was gonna be all like poop head over Sakura and that whole thing, then obviously he should go with Mei Lin. But the fact he asked Erika is directly just to hurt Sakura. And I love the fact that she's like calling him out on his BS. You know, like I love Mei Lin. She's the best.
The only thing that's consoling me is that like Sharon never technically asked Erica. It was Erica who asked him, and he said, "Okay, yeah, fine."
Yeah, that's
But
true. That's true.
I think if Erica didn't ask him to the dance, he would just sat it out.
Yeah, that's probably a true statement. But yeah, I freaking love Mei Lin. She's just like,
Yes.
you fight about me.
Malin basically telling him everything everybody is thinking.
Yes, indeed.
And then there was this really cute S&S scene, but Erica spoiled it. But the thing is, though, she was telling Sharon, okay, well, be sure to keep your phone close because I'm gonna call you. And last time I got your cousin. But it's like, what does a conversation with Sharon entail?
Hey, okay, bye.
So yeah, the way I see it, it's like Erica is just gonna be prattling on about like classmates or shopping or whatever, and he's just gonna be like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh, okay, bye.
And also, like, you know, again, I understand, but it seems kind of funny that the school would just continue on with this winter wonderland when all these cars are supposedly like flipped outside and there's like this terrible, awful snowstorm. And like, and the kids are going to have to like go home through this snowstorm, get ready for the dance, then get all the way back to school. Cause I think it's on the same night.
Honestly, it's like it would have just been canceled. It's like we've been having some crazy weather of our own in real time.
Actually, I just double checked and it's not on the same night. I
Mm.
spoke incorrectly. But yeah, I agree with you. The school would have just been like, done.
No, it's like on our end here, it's like Montreal and Ontario, and well, Quebec and Ontario. They've been getting tons of snow. On the other side of the country, in the west, it's like -40. And then in the States, it's a lot of crazy stuff going on there too.
Oh my God, it was awful. Well, Priya knows, but my heater kind of went down and it got so cold in my house. And again, I'm not like Sakura. I'm like, Priya, I'm cold.
Oh, well, you made that pasta dish.
It's true. Yeah, if you're ever super cold, guys, just make a really complicated, anxiety-ridden pasta dish. And not only will that make you sweat, but your oven will make you sweat, and then you'll be fine.
You have anything else to say about the chapter?
I don't.
Okay, now we're moving on to Dark Force's corner. So we get to see the Twister in its true form. And the cards that Sakura uses are windy, but you can't fight wind with wind. She uses fly in the form of wings on her back, along with fiery. And then finally, we see her use the stone. As for the fan art spotlight, back in 2017, when I was blogging about my New Trials reread, every post had a fan art. But then I got to chapter 13 and there was no fan art, so I figured that Aaron doing a science experiment would be the easiest thing to draw. Now, fast forward 5 years later, there's still no existing fan arts for chapter 13, so that's the one that everybody's getting today.
It's good though. You can tell it's an experiment how you have like your little beakers and stuff.
Wish-chan actually commented under that fan art because I was talking to another poster and we're just laughing about how he doesn't have goggles or gloves. And Wish-chan said, haha, Aaron would never wear something as unstylish as goggles. And then she says, he does look too serious. I hated chemistry in high school. I had no patience at all for measuring the beakers and whatnot. Only class I didn't like, actually.
Oh, 100% agree on that. And that was another nail in my coffin for medical school. Well, are you ready for the author's note?
Yes.
Okay, so we say, well, finally the winter concert is over. Syaoran displayed his violin skills, though most people still think he sucks at music. Eron, for once, is under gratitude to Syaoran. Haha, enemies hate it the worst when they get help from their nemesis. It seems creepy that Syaoran and Erika are going to the Winter Wonderland, huh? Not to mention Tomeo and Eron. And Eron and Erika are now invited to the New York trip. What can I say? Watch out.
Nice. Well, she pretty much hits all the nails on the head. I think she's really it sounds like she's really gleeful about this Syaoran Erica pairing.
She's just loving to torture us during this arc one.
She doesn't even know the reach that she has or like the longevity that the story is going to have, but it's like, oh, I'm having fun.
Oh man, this one, and then we'll get to it, but the Blown Away Roses one makes me so frustrated, and I'm dreading getting, that's the next chapter I'm dreading getting to.
Oh, it's New Trials without a healthy dose of angst.
That's true.
You have been listening to New Trials, the podcast, where it must rain for there to be a rainbow.
You've been listening to New Trials, the podcast. Please be sure to check out the audiobook version of this fan fiction that you can find anywhere that you can find this podcast. Also, please be sure to check out the Facebook group for Wishchan New Trials, where a big part of our discussion happens nowadays. Also, please be sure to send us any discussion questions you might have to ntthepod@gmail.com. And please be sure to stick around next week when Preya and I discuss the winter